So, Mrs. Ramirez, thank you for meeting with me today. We are going to talk about Esther how how we feel and how you feel she should be treated, and how we can further her education in the best way possible. And first, we wanted to look at her eligibility for special education. She has so there's three criteria for special education, and the first one is if she has a disability. And from the assessment scores, which we found from the through the psychological assessments and the IQ tests, also they say that she has some kind of learning disability there, and that she's not on par with where she should be. So as far as that level of eligibility, she is eligible. And then the next one is if the disability adversely impacts her educational performance. And in the classroom, I've been examining her, and not examining her, but I've been paying attention and seeing what she needs and what she's struggling with. And she's struggling in all the curriculum because she has trouble with numbers and words and everything language. It's difficult for her to process the on the grade level information being taught in the general education classroom, in my classroom. But she has a great desire to learn the material, so I feel like she would be able to thrive if given the one-on-one care that she needs that I can't provide in my classroom. And the third thing for eligibility is if she needs special education. And personally, as a team, we've come to believe that yes, she needs the consistent one-on-one assistance that special education could provide for her. And I was just curious, do you have any concerns about that? Are you how does that sound to you as the parent?
Um, a couple concerns I would have would be, first of all, her social interaction, because she is, struggling academically, but she is doing very well with social interaction with her peers, with her general education classroom. But if she was moved away to a strictly special education classroom, it could negatively affect her ability to social interact and to progress in her social aspect.
Right.
And also another big concern would be that, it sounds like a great idea to move her to a special education classroom, but would she really be given the one-on-one assistance that she needs and the opportunity to learn on her level, or would she be, kind of be pushed to the side and not really ever learn?
Right, and I can see why that would concern you as the parent. You want to make sure that if we do this plan and she's moved outside of the general education classroom, that she really is receiving the care that she needs. And I can assure you that if she were moved to the special education classroom, we would have a bilingual educator, a teacher or a teacher's aide, who would be able to assist her with her learning the curriculum, even if she's outside of the special or the general education classroom. The other thing that you mentioned was social interaction, and while that may be a concern, she still has the social interaction that she gets from being at home, from you, her parent, and also from her siblings. And she also and it wouldn't, if things go according to plan, it would not be permanent for her to be in the special education classroom. If everything goes according to plan, she would be coming back into the classroom for part-time in the next 3 years, perhaps, or maybe even later, depending on how she's doing and how she's progressing with the one-on-one instruction, and then potentially back in full-time by the time she reaches high school, being full-time in the general classroom again.
Okay.
So
That sounds better, yeah.
right. So let's just talk about what you saw from home over the last few weeks. Like, we've been watching her at school, and Ellen has been running the psychological tests. But what about from home? What are some of her levels? Like, how is she doing at home?
She's improved a lot since coming to live with us in the United States. She's been able to really kind of form a bond with us as parents and her siblings. She loves helping out around the house and doing things with me as the mother. She loves doing puzzles. She is doing very well. There are still some pretty big language barriers,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only been about a year, so there has been some improvement.
At school, we've been seeing quite the same thing. Over the last year that she's been in our school district, she's improved quite a bit. Before, she was hardly even able, like, she would just make scribbles on the paper. Now she's able to recognize letters. She knows the alphabet, and she can print letters very well. She can write her name. And if I'm helping her, she can even write stories that she's come up with in her head, and that's quite an improvement over the last year. She loves books, and she's unable to read them. She still needs improvement with numbers. Math is a little bit of a struggle for her, and she's really difficult with her fine motor skills. So she can do bigger things with movement, but her small details are a little bit difficult for her, and anything dealing with language, as you said, is difficult. There's a language barrier. So to help these, we've come up with some goals over the next few years that we'd really like to see happen for Esther, and I want you to tell me what you think of them. She's currently working on blending letters, so the letters that like two consonants together, and she's working on building words together so that when she reads them, she knows what they sound like, and word families, and a whole word approach to word recognition so that she can read. Because right now she's struggling with everything language, and reading is a particularly hard thing. But after 1 year of the one-on-one instruction of special education, we would hope that Esther would be able to read on a first grade level using those word families and the whole word approach. And after 3 years, we would like it if 3 years of the special education with one-on-one instruction, if Esther would be able to participate part-time in the general classroom and be able to read on a 4th or 5th grade level. She would be, after 3 years, she would be about 12 years old, 12 and a half. So her peers would be in 6th grade, but if she could be reading on a 4th or 5th grade level, then I'm sure we could incorporate her into the general education classes. She could be with her peers, at least part-time. And then by the time she reaches 8th or 9th grade, which is a couple years, 2 or 3 years after that, we would hope that she'd be fully attending the general education classrooms again with her peers. And we wouldn't leave her alone. We'd still be giving her some one-on-one assistance, such as from a teacher's aide, who would be able to assist her in understanding the material and help her understand her homework as well. So do you believe that those are reasonable goals? Like, what do you think of them?
Yeah, I think those are great goals to, especially as she, progresses more and more, to be able to, starting part-time, go back into general education and, be able to push herself a little bit more that way, but also still have the very important one-on-one instruction that she really needs.
Right.
And I think those goals for reading levels will her to exceed and progress.
Okay, so some of the things that we're going to be doing in the special education classroom to make this happen is that she'll be in the classroom full-time, so she'll be in the special education services, and she'll receive one-on-one instruction with a bilingual teacher who can instruct her in both Spanish and English for 4 hours a day out of the school day. So 4 out of the 7 hours will be strictly one-on-one instruction with that bilingual teacher so that she can fortify her language skills in Spanish, so that will help boost her, because she's reached a certain level in Spanish and she's not very good at Spanish either. She's struggling in both languages. And what we've learned about language acquisition is that you can only go so far in your second language. If you can't, or if you haven't reached a certain level in your first language, you can only go that far in your second. So we believe that enforcing her first language, which is Spanish, will help her develop concepts in English and be able to communicate better. And so she'll be working with a bilingual teacher who can help her in both Spanish and English, and she'll be learning the curriculum that way, along with activities with the special education classroom that will be boosting her communications and her overall experience. And so other things does that sound all right?
Yeah, that sounds
okay.
That sounds like that would be very beneficial for her.
Okay, if you have any concerns, please let us know, or any questions at any time. And so some accommodations and adaptations that we'll do for her is the one-on-one instruction of the curricular material and on language. And then when instruction is given to a group, because she's only with the one-on-one instructor for 4 out of the 7 hours, whenever she's in a group, we're going to go ahead and give her the printed material. So whatever we're going to put on the board, we'll make sure that she has a copy of, so that she can read it, because she has her eye problems, and
yes.
So we want to be able to make sure that she has it in a way that's best to her. We'll place her near the board, but we'll also have the printed material for her. And then we'll have special ESL training by the bilingual teacher. And then we were hoping that, since you brought up the concern about communication, something that you would be able to do as the parent is make sure that she has multiple communication opportunities with you, and speak to her at a regular communicative tone that will help her continue developing her language skills, because as you do that, she'll be able to increase her ability to communicate, and I'm sure that would be helpful for you at home, and it will definitely help her education here at school.
Yeah, I think those sound like really good ways to help her. I think the accommodations, specifically with her her vision impairment, would really be helpful, because she does have trouble seeing correctly and being able to understand what she's seeing. So I think that really would help her, and we can definitely at home be able to work more and be more, give her more opportunities to speak and to express her ideas, her thoughts, to help her develop more in her language, because that is a definite barrier that she is having right now, and just communicating and in learning. So
right. And we really want to see Esther grow in her communication skills, and we really want her to be able to progress and get on level with her peers. And so, Mrs. Ramirez, would you consent to her receiving special education services and being in the special education classroom full time?
Yes.
Okay. And so we'll meet again. I'll contact you about the details of the next visit, and we'll meet as a team, and we'll discuss how she's doing and what we can do to further improve the plan. But thank you very much.